welcome to another edition of Richard's blog. Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, this you will probably never see ever again, or probably not too often. I will introduce you to the geeky side of me. In fact, let me put my glasses on so I can prove I'm an official geek. Okay. There's so many things I want to share with you guys. Basically, it's just going to be my hobbies, or just things that I find or found interesting. So if you find it really extremely boring, geeky, nerdy, dorky, dweeby, all of the above, then feel free to go on to a different video. I'm sure Blunty or someone else has something much better than mine. Kidding. Alright, so one thing is, I was talking before about Superman Doomsday. That horrible DVD. In fact, give me one sec. This is what I'm talking about. Superman Doomsday. Don't buy this one. Stay away. Okay. And I'm just doing a small recap. So in that DVD, I was basically explaining how it was different from the comic book. Well, this is the comic book that I got. Superman back from the dead, right? And there it is. I'm sure it had a different cover. Wow, look at the light. I'm sure it had a different cover on it, or I'm sure it was wrapped differently, but this is a summary of what happened. Basically, Superman and his Earth father die, and then he comes back, and it shows him coming back right there. Okay? So, he brings his dad back from the dead. And, you know, they make a monument for him and all that stuff, okay? So they believe that he moved on. And then later on, I guess that's what Lois and Perry, I think that is, they notice that, look, Superman, his body's gone, so where to go? And that's where these super people come from. There's Steel. Of course, he's not in Steel, but he's an African American who dresses as practically in Steel. He can fly, and he's one of the Supermen. And then there's this other one with the visors. See? And he's not Superman either. And now you have a Superboy. And he actually turns out to be Superboy Prime, which, if you read Infinity Crisis, which I should have brought out, but if you read Infinity Crisis, he actually is older and he looks different. And then you have the other Superman, the one who supposedly is good, but actually turns out to be the main bad guy of the entire thing. And then, of course, Superman comes back later on and defeats him. That's what the whole entire build-up is, compared to this one, who they just make a clone of, and then they call that a movie. Anyway, I just wanted to point out how interesting and how much detail they went into the comic book. You know, that's just a summary of it. The original comic books, because they branched out into 4 different ones, because each Superman had its own comic book for a while, and then, I don't know, I lost track of it. I didn't have enough money to keep up with everything that was going on. So yeah, and that's what happened there. I just wanted to point that out, to show you what it looked like and what they looked like, just to hopefully catch your interest. And you know what, if you find, I'm pretty sure there's a hardcover copy of it, or a softcover copy of the whole entire epic, of how they bring them back and everything. If you find that, read through it. If you find it interesting, go ahead and buy it, you know? I have a question for people who read Liberty Meadow. That's what it looks like. I'm sure I showed you other things from the Comic-Con. This is Liberty Meadow. Now, I bought this off of eBay. And the thing is with these is that they say they're first printings. And I've looked through this entire thing. I don't see first printing on it anywhere. So if anyone reads Liberty Meadows and can tell me where it says first printing, or how you can tell it's a first printing, please let me know. Okay. And this is for Loretta, aka Miss Chanson. Okay. Brain Age 2. No, I'm not teasing you with it. I'm definitely not teasing you. But I do have a solution. Kind of, sort of. Okay, if I can ever get Stick'em working and there's no delay on that, go sign up, join Stick'em, and I'll turn on the DS, I'll show it to you, and if we can get fast enough response time, it'll be like virtually you're playing it, but I'm helping you. I know it sounds lame, it probably does, but that's what I can think of. That's all I can come up with. Either that, or, well, you buy your own DS and then you get Brain Age. But I just like that would probably help you out. But yeah. Okay, and since I was just talking about movies and comparisons to the comic books, things like that, I also want to do a comparison with Superman 2. Wow, that looks terrible. Okay, Superman 2 and Superman 2, the Richard Donner collection, or Richard Donner cut, director's cut. If you've ever seen Superman 2, you got used to seeing how it was and just the normal flow of it. The problem is that Richard Donner didn't get credit for this movie. It was directed by... Where is this person? Some guy. Sorry, I can't remember his name. It slipped my mind. Anyway, Richard Donner is the one who actually did the original Superman 1. That one. And it made a huge hit. It was popular. Just a great blockbuster. And then about 70% of Superman 2 was shot. But by that time, the Salkind brothers were the ones who were producing this, giving him the money to make the movie. They got fed up with him. For one reason or another, it was everyone's fault. It was no one's fault, so they just got rid of him. They hired someone else. And this other person changed it to a point where it had to be 51% so he could get his name in the credit and not Richard Donner. And of course, later on, I guess fans figured out that there was supposed to be something else. I guess there's a small little glitch in Superman 2 where you're like, huh? Where did that come from? Basically, when Superman loses his powers, he picks up the green kryptonite and cuts to a different scene, and Superman somehow miraculously gets his powers back. People realize, something was there, and they took it out. And so, through a lot of fans, they finally got Richard Donner they permitted Richard Donner to look through old footage and recreate how it should have been if you were to finish the rest of Superman 2. And that's what this is. In Superman 2, the original, there's 50% of Richard Donner's filming in it. But in the Richard Donner version of it, there's about 75% of it. Because, of course, he never finished Superman 2 altogether. That's where their producer or director came in and then did whatever you want with it. But if you do get a chance, go ahead and check it out. I recommend it. It might be a little different at first, but I recommend I really like the Donner cut more than the original one now. It's a little strange at first, but I really recommend it. And I'm sure I'm losing viewers by the thousands. Okay. This is one for anyone who ever just has no idea about comic books and just wants something to laugh at when they read. This thing called Marvel Minis. It came out a while back. I'm sure it's very difficult to find. See how Spider-Man and Wolverine are? That's how all the characters are in there. It is hilarious. It's so funny. It is. If you can find it online, download a digital copy. It's just hilarious. Just the way they are. Literally, they're kids and they interact with the world, and you just start cracking up. It is. I highly recommend it. Okay, last but not least, I wanted to show you guys the one thing that I've been collecting for a while, which is Ninja Turtles. This is actually what? Okay, Eastman Laird's, or Peter and Eastman Laird's, the version of Ninja Turtles. I think it later on went to Mirage, and this is a reprint of the original, which I still haven't read. But that was the one thing I got hooked on. In one of my previous blogs, it was all about Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles. I even saw the cartoon. I totally got hooked on that. I tried to collect as many action figures as I could, and of course, well, I ran out of money. The one that I got into, because that is just a one shot from the original, which I actually didn't get into, if that makes sense. See, there's this thing called the Archie series. And that's the one that really got me hooked, because they followed more of the TV series. And just to let you know, this is a 3-issue miniseries. So first they had the miniseries. If you watch the cartoons, you would notice that they more or less looked very similar to it. Heck, you can see Krang's body right there, and you know exactly what episode it is, and you know how it's going to turn out. After the miniseries, it was such a great hit that they started going on, and they actually created the original first, which looks a lot better, doesn't it? See, and this is another reason, or another question, you can definitely tell what this one's from. People are just shaking their heads like, oh my god, he's such a dork, why is he showing us this? Yeah, the Incredible Shrinking Turtles, isn't that amazing? Going back to the first one. See, compared to the cartoon, look at the cover. Look at that cover. And then when you compare it to the cartoon version, it doesn't look as exciting. It looks like a small little kid's show. I mean, compared to the comic book, look at that. That looks awesome. That looks fierce. That looks amazing. Exciting. Like you want to read it. While everything kind of looks like Barney and Friends. Just the way they drew it out. Which, of course, in the cartoon, it's a bit more deeper. It has no relation with the cover at all. And I just thought that they would put more ideas into it. You know? Just not to make it so kiddish. Anyway, so I got hooked into it. And of course, they went through fighting different bad guys, not so much the Shredder, Rocksteady, Bebop, and Krang all the time. In fact, they even went so far as to fighting these type of villains. And these are separate issues, but they connected them all together, and they make one huge battle. Anyway, and the last one is, this is the last issue of Ninja Turtles before they actually stopped the printing. Yeah, that's Michelangelo, by the way. He doesn't look too happy. Anyway, the whole reason why they stopped this issue, or the series, the Archie series, which was doing pretty well, I think, or at the time it was doing well, is after a while, it started to decline in sales. And there's this one last, I guess, trilogy, or not really trilogy, but one last, I guess, combination of comics. I'm trying to find the word to say it, and all the words are escaping me right now. There were 5 comic books left, or maybe 6, and then they would end the series of the Archie series. And it never came out because they just cut it like that because of sales. The comics were all ready to be printed, storyline, everything was ready, and they canceled it. So when Ninja Turtles came out on CGI, they thought about re-releasing those last final 5 of the Archie series. Of course, they actually didn't. They're actually going to wait for the 25th anniversary of TMNT, which will come up in, what, 2009, because they were created in 1989. Or is it 20th anniversary? Oh, well, 20th anniversary. Did I say 25th? 20th anniversary. So they'll actually re-release those, and finally, my collection will probably be complete. I know this sounds lame, but you know what? This is what I would do when I was little. I would collect comic books, I would watch the cartoons, I would play video games. I was just hooked onto a lot of great things that most childhoods are. Most people who grow up from the 80s are really, really stuck and want to relive that. You want to stay in that bubble as long as possible. And even now, since it's 2007, I still want to stay in that bubble. You know, I still want to go through my comic books, relive the old days, play with the NES, Sega Genesis, all those things. I don't know why, I guess it brings back memories. I guess that's why I buy all these Ninja Turtle things, why I stay watches around and get the re-releases and things like that. But I'm sure everyone has something that they can relate to in this way. Anyway, wow, I think that's it. I think we covered everything. Well, not everything, but this is a glimpse of my geeky side. It's very sad and tragic. Anyway, so yeah, that's gonna be it for now, I guess. Well, I'll keep you guys posted if anything interesting happens in my life. Which means I'll probably have a blog ready for you by next week. Anyway, I hope it wasn't too much torture for me to take you through this small little journey of my past and some of my hobbies and interests, which were mostly comic books from what I can see. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. So take care. I'll talk to you guys later.